Welcome back to another episode of Radically Honest.
Live and in person. Well, we're live.
We're
and
live
in person
with each other.
You're not live with us, but you
could be.
If you were to be part of the membership, just quick shameless plug for you. You can actually see this live. There's some serious cleavage going on over next door to me, beside me. I am just in the, conservative, I got the librarian look of the turtleneck. It's very sexy. I'll put the glasses back on, even though they glare just for a moment. It's a very sexy librarian look. Yes. Okay. There's your tease. Let's get back into, it's not the slutty Dana show.
No, we could do another episode on my orgasmic life called the Slutty Dana Adventures. But we're not. We're radically honest.
Radically honest. All the things. Yes. So what do you want to be diving into? I felt like last time I kind of
all right. Well, first of all, I need to talk about I'm wearing a bra. This does not happen very often. And
why are you wearing a bra?
I decided that so that our boobs were even with each other. Like our last episode that we recorded, mine were like lower. There's a lot of cleavage on both ends of the situation, but they weren't even. It wasn't good for camera angles and stuff. So I thought I'll pull the girls up and then they would be even.
Okay.
That's what it said.
Full disclosure, we are apparently narcissistic and, need to be looking at ourselves while we're doing this.
You say that like that's a bad thing.
Wasn't just acknowledging.
Okay, so let's talk about, we could go on bantering back and forth.
We could. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. All right, so I want to talk about, I have a new horse.
A horse?
A horse, of course. Oh, I'm so excited.
A real horse.
A real horse. I also have human horses too. But that's for another episode, another show. You can listen to my orgasmic life, all about my pony play. However, now I have a real horse and his name is TJ and I co-own him with Mistress Cherry. And it's been a very fascinating talking about radically honest conversations. So I wanted to have a horse since I was a little girl. And the only time I've ever been around horses is, to go horseback riding here and there throughout my life. But every time I've ever been on a horse, I'm like, I need to have a horse. I want a horse. I love horses. They're so good. So Mistress Cherry is a horse lady who has had horses her whole entire life. And she asked me, how did you get a horse? So here's a little bit of backstory. So she asked me, because I'm an animal communicator. This is something that you probably don't know about me. Very few people know about me. So I communicate with animals, and TJ was very sick. And she wanted me to help TJ either pass over or find out if I could help him heal. And so I started this epic adventure with TJ doing horse communication and horse healing. And he's healed, pretty much completely healed. And of course, in that process, we bonded and I fell in love with him. And so Mistress Cherry was like, thank you so much for saving my horse. And he loves you and you love him. So would you like to part on him? I was like, it was like so beautiful. I cried like a little baby. Was like, it was like such a beautiful gift, an incredible, beautiful gift that she gave me. So in order to do this, Mistress Cherry, she's never shared a horse before. So we've had to have some really interesting and sometimes uncomfortable conversations about what does that look like? What does that mean? How do we share a horse? Who does what? We had to have conversations about money, which can be very uncomfortable. We've done a lot of we've had a lot of amazing conversations, but again, going back to the reason we have those amazing conversations is because, like me and Dana, we have a consensual non-consent clause in our relationship about pure radically honest. And so we both have the right to be radically honest with each other. And that's why we can have this beautiful shared experience, shared custody of TJ.
That should be the American lie. They should drop the right to bear arms, and it should be the right to be radically honest. Sorry.
Right? Seriously. So, but what's been fascinating is how many people are really not happy that I got a horse.
It's crazy. It's a horse, people.
It's a horse.
It's a horse.
However, a lot of people are terrified of horses because they're huge. And there are a lot of horse accidents that happen, and people are paralyzed and, get stomped on and kicked in the head and kicked off the horse. And, there's some definitely high risk. It's definitely a high risk animal companion.
All right.
It is. And so I've had to have a lot of really uncomfortable conversations with some of the people in my life about me having a horse and their fear of it going to kill me. Now, I'm not worried about TJ killing me because
I can talk to him.
Because I can talk to
You're like, dude, move over.
Dude, don't kick me in the head. Otherwise, I'm not going to be around. You want me to be around. However, that being said, I did have a little scare a couple weeks ago of being in the paddock with a bunch of horses, and they were all getting roused up a little bit, and me being a new horse girl, not knowing all the protocols and all the rules, there was a moment of high adrenaline, heart spiking, Mistress Cherry yelling at me, "Get to the fence! Get to the fence! Don't stand in the middle of the paddock! Get to the fence!"
Because the fence is electric and the horses are scared of the fence. So you're safer.
You're safer at the fence. You're safer at the fence. Or tree lines, or, you don't want to be in open space.
Not everybody's a horse person.
Exactly. Well, I didn't know that rule either, right? So if you're with horses, get to the tree line or the fence if they're getting a little spooky and frisky, right? And so it's been really interesting to have holding space for this beautiful, I am so happy. I've never been so happy in my life. I'm so excited about TJ. I love my horse. Every day I'm like, I have a horse. I love my horse. And then some of the people who are closest to me being like terrified every time I say I have a horse, and having to have conversations with them and say like, so why are you jealous of my horse?
Mm-hmm.
I've had to have a couple conversations. What's up with that? And, some have been like, well, it's too expensive to have a horse is one of the conversations. The others are like,
who's that?
We won't name anybody's name. And then there's, people being like, you're going to die. The horse is going to kill you. And, I have all these friends who've been, early deaths or injuries or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not worried about it. And then funny enough, both me and Mistress Cherry sign our life insurance policy on the same day. We're like, do you think this is a sign? Do you think maybe they might be right? I'm going to get you murdered with these horses. I'm like, well, if I go. I don't care about that. But the beautiful thing is that I've been able to have those conversations with people. That I could feel everybody's fear, people's resentment, people's stuff coming up. And I just called them out. And I was like, hey, what's going on? Why are you not being all in love with the fact that I have a horse? And I'm super happy about having a horse. What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they get to move through their pieces around their fears. And you get to learn to not learn, but you get to showcase what it looks like to not take it on.
That's right. That's not my problem. I love my horse. And if my horse murders me, I'm okay. It's all right.
See you next lifetime.
See you next lifetime. Maybe I'll come back as a horse. So
no, come back as a Bengal cat.
No way. I'm coming back as a dolphin. I want to swim. That's
a good choice.
where
Although there's lots of pollution in the ocean now. So anyway, let's
not digress.
Apparently ADD is up and active for me. Squirrel, look at that.
So yeah, so I really want the audience to not get lost in the fact that I'm excited about my horse. What I want the audience to take away is that when you are very excited about something in your life, it can trigger other people's fear.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're envy, sometimes they're jealousy, sometimes they're panic, sometimes they're fear, sometimes you won't have enough time for them. It can trigger other people's stuff when you're really happy about something and other people. And it's really important to have those conversations to find out what their stuff is so that you can clear the air about it.
And I would, I'm just going to segue from this, but I would say that being happy seems in a lot of ways seems to be the most triggering thing for people.
It is.
Right? Because people don't allow themselves to be happy, right? You look around. Who around you is really allowed to be so genuinely happy without people are like, oh, well, did you win the lottery? Or, like assuming that something or assuming it's fleeting or, there's like this.
Okay, but even let's take the lottery, for example. Somebody says, did you win the lottery? And if you had said yes, they'd have issues. Oh, it must be nice to win the lottery. Blah, 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 blah.
Aren't
blah.
you lucky?
Aren't you lucky?
I just got like it handed to you on a silver platter. Blah, blah, blah.
So really, like the truth is that it doesn't really matter what the source of the happiness
is. If you're doing well and you're enjoying life and you're having fun and you're having good sex, all of these things are triggering for people. So whatever it is, the lesson here is that you living your life, however you live it, is going to trigger people.
It is.
Period.
So really try
good, the bad, or the ugly. So you might as well have some fun.
You might as well have lots of fun, live your truth, be who you are. And, hopefully you can find the people that can support that. And the ones who are having a hard time, that you can at least have conversations with them for them to point out, to lovingly point out, dude, I'm fucking happy. What's your problem?
And you just be happy for me.
You could just be happy
with me
or with me. But either way, I'm still not, I'm not changing or numbing out my happiness. And I think that's if I look at my evolution of people pleasing, that is the one thing in the past I would have changed.
Yeah.
I would have downplayed. I wouldn't be like every day, be like, oh my God, I would know that really bothered everybody. And I would have actually just really stopped and been like, I can't, I would keep it to myself. I wouldn't do the thing because I would be worried that would trigger everybody else. And then everybody would ruin my happiness because they were all triggered. And so, Okay, that's enough about my horse. Okay, your turn.
So we're going to keep this episode kind of short because notification just popped up that I have another call.
Apparently it looks okay, go.
So we had a late start. Okay, so my piece that I want to share, just kind of showcase. So I was up in Quebec for the month of September. And in that adventure, I went and I did a day in Mount Tremblant, which is a ski resort in Quebec, and was climbing the mountain. And ended up running into this person who's like, it's just ridiculous, the alignment, ridiculous, the amount of things that we have in common, the way we live our lives, what we value, all of these things. And, we met, we had this great epic afternoon, but here's the cool thing. So normally Dana would get kind of sucked into this thing of like, oh, look, it's a boy. And oh, look, here's somebody who can like rescue me. Which is awful. It's really awful to admit this. I'm admitting this in public. But here I'm this power woman that
I think this is the first time you've met your whole damsel in distress issue.
I have. It's ugly, but it's there. True. It's there. It's true. And I know a lot of people have it. No matter how much of a powerhouse you are, there is this underlying programming for women to want to look for your white knight or the shining knight in the white horse, that whole paradigm.
Yes.
And so, yes. So normally I would go into that. And so he was like, oh, come back to Montreal and, he's not working right now. So he was free and he's like, come and we'll have some fun. And I had thought about it for a hot minute. And then Gaia reminded me, you're on an adventure. It does not include getting sidetracked by boys. So I left him there, went on my way, carry on with what I had already had planned. And I continue to lean into this. So we continue to have conversations, but I'm using this to really challenge myself to let go of the programming of the damsel in distress, lean into what works for me. And if somebody wants to come along for the ride and be with me for who I am, great. But if not, it's okay. because we'll meet somebody else along the way.
I'm very proud of you.
You know, it's really big.
It is very big.
It's very big.
Huge.
So we'll dive into it more next time because we don't have a ton of time today.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's huge being able to continue your adventure, to not be rescued by a boy, to not be sidetracked by a boy, to not have security. Because I think, let's be honest, your adventure is about the opposite of security.
Oh my God.
Your adventure is about surrender, 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 let go of control, surrender, surrender, surrender. And so having some boy offer you some stability is very tempting.
Very tempting.
But you chose to say no, thank you, and carried on your merry way, which makes me super proud of you.
I love you.
Yeah.
See, and this is the advantage of also of the coming back to the radically honest. Right. You and I have been having these conversations all the way through. And so as I'm tempted, somebody over here
me
calls me out on my shit over and over again, even if I don't want to hear it, which talked about in the last episode in great detail. But it's been really, really helpful to be able to lean into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's been lots of, I'm like, oh no, boy, no boy. No boy.
No boy.
No boy. Distractions. That's it. That's
Love
all.
them and leave them. Moving on.
And if they're worth it, they'll be around a year from now.
They will.
If it's meant to be, they will be around then.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, audience. We have to cut this short because we have a call. And till next time, stay adventurous, stay honest, and be true to who you are.
All right. So make sure they head over to your website.
Oh, yes. Come visit me at GaiaMorrissette.com for all things learning about what I got going on in the world.
Sign up for the membership.
To sign up for the membership.
Then you get the extra perks.
You get the extra perks of my perky boobs because
right?
I'm wearing a bra. And how do they spend time with you?
And if you are looking to spend some time with me professionally,
yes,
head over to bookdana.in and schedule a call.
All right. Bye-bye. See you in November. Mwah.